My name is Maria Payan. I am
Mhm.
Executive Director of Sussex Health and Environmental Network and co-founder of Sentinels of Eastern Shore Health.
Great. And can you give me a brief overview of some of the justice issues that you worked on the Eastern Shore? And why did you get involved with these issues?
The issues here that we have a lot of because we are in a rural area,
Hmm.
and down here, the Delmarva Peninsula is poultry. Everything's poultry in the rural area. You have a lot of um, CAFOs, what they AKA factory farms. You have the infrastructure that goes with it, the processing plants, commercial composting, fast pyrolysis, some of the green energy they're trying to do, biorefineries. So it's a vast infrastructure. And the reason I got involved in this is because my family was exposed. And this was in another state in Pennsylvania. And it was pretty horrifying to watch the effects of these very large scale industrial operations in comparison to a smaller type family farm. We grew up, with farms. And after a mass mortality at our house there across the street, we had severe health impacts. And we had, at that time, I was a mother and a business owner. And I literally walked away from it because my feeling was people don't understand what's going on with this. And once they're educated, we can change this. Unfortunately, 20 years later, I no longer believe that. But I'm hoping that we can at least get better rules and regs and some things that are going to protect the communities that host these facilities. And a lot of them are low income communities, often communities of color. Um, so it's a challenge because it's a little voice against something that has a huge voice with the industry. So it's a David and Goliath fight.
Hmm. And can you walk me through a little bit how you got started kind of getting involved with these issues? And what kind of initial actions did you take?
So as I mentioned, from going through the experience with my family, there was a mass mortality, which was 20,000 birds had died in the middle of summer. They had composted them on site, and the whole community was knew something was wrong. Okay, it was very obvious from the smells, the flies. But the community is not informed when something like this happens. They try to protect, any kind of bad news coming out. But after I was taking my child out of a bathtub and he had palm sized blisters all over his body, that was the day I said, they are literally poisoning my family and I have to do something. So you work within the agencies. And this is, let me say, not only where I live, but now down here. You work within the agencies, you work within the system, you meet with your legislators, your county legislators, to try to see what can we do so that the community is being protected, because it is not only a quality of life issue, now it's becoming an issue of even clean water, a lot in the rural areas or in private wells. Um, my belief is in this great country of ours, clean water should not be a privilege, but a human right. The rates of asthma here are incredibly high. So, clean air and clean water has always been the focus of how can we protect the communities that host these facilities.
Yeah. And was there ever a time during kind of your activism, your action, when you didn't know if you could keep going?
Almost daily. it's it's very hard to describe this unless it's a lived experience, because the shenanigans that go on are unbelievable, the deceit and the lying to the communities. So, for example, the one facility we were talking about here, a gentleman bought a property, came in, told the county he was going to put in an ag storage building. Meanwhile, he had no intention of that. He was holding an construction permit with an air permit to build what they call a biorefinery that was going to take chicken litter, uh, and it was going to create, along with, I guess, other things in looking forward, jet fuel. Jet fuel. Um, they were also going to create a soil amendment, which would go on the fields, which is already suffering from phosphorus down here, we know. And it was also going to create asphalt road extenders. So farming is going way beyond farming. You know, we are talking industrial scale and products. And this is over something called the Paleo Channel, which is a protected, supposedly protected channel because it supplies public water to the community in Salisbury, Maryland. Um, so this is what communities deal with. And it's been 3 years now. The communities have hired attorneys and they've won and they came back and appealed it and appealed it. And to me, if somebody's lying to the county, why wasn't that immediate? Why does that fall on the citizens? You know? But this is the stories that you see, and it's not isolated. I mean, these problems are literally in just about every community that I've worked with, to not to a full extent, from one extent, you know, a smaller extent, maybe with you'll have some problems with air quality where the kids can't go out and play because it smells so bad, whatever. But, you know, there needs to be fairness. This is public money, which is supporting these grants that come from something called the Maryland Animal Waste Technology Fund. There are terms to the grant conditions. There is a grant manager that oversees this and knows this is all going on. And this grant started in 2018 with this gentleman. It's now 2026. It was a 3-year project. And this money keeps getting funneled in when he's not complying with the terms of the grant. There's a problem here. This is, you know, it's fraud, waste, and abuse with public funds.
Yeah, and then kind of finally, what kind of result have you been able to make any progress with your activism? And is there any more work left to do?
Yes, so right now we're in the process of communicating with both the county, MDE, and MDA, which is in charge of these grants. The air permit, the permit to construct, has expired. That has been pulled. The property was sold at a tax auction. And why is this grant still going? There's some huge questions. We are taking it to the media, and the media is influenced as well, you know, because this is a big industry. So it is literally pushing a boulder up a mountain. But you know, this is the lives of the community members. We have somebody that's this is in the middle of a community. You know, they have a private well within 200 feet of the site. So you're dealing with people's family health, right? Because we know that there is environmental health is a big part of these processes. We are doing community science, which is just amazing. We're finding fecal filth inside and outside of neighbors' homes, mitochondrial DNA. This is out of control. It's out of control. So communities are stuck with the job of collecting the data, right? Working with universities and researchers to um, to bring this data to legislators and say, look, this is a huge problem, bigger than anyone even realized. And we need some common sense protections now.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining this morning, Maria, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you so much, Calvin. Appreciate it.